There we go. Fish on. What is this?
Welcome, ladies and gents, another episode of Lure Fishing TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're doing a bit of spot hopping after our original plan kind of got scrapped because too long of a journey and with certain road closures. Just arrived to the first spot. It's going well, as you can see. Bridges and hard baits are not my favorite combination, and they weren't this Twitch bait's favorite combination either. I am left with a vein. Anyway, I am going to go straight over to something I usually do here anyway. I'm gonna go over to Texas rig. Texas rig. So for me, Texas rig is stopper. Weight 3.5 grams. So rubber stopper, then the usual bullet weight, tungsten with a little inline tubing, another stopper, makes you as flexible. You can peg it, you can even make it a light Carolina rig if you like to. So yeah, now you've got that on there, and then you can tie on whatever really. What am I gonna put today? Don't actually have too many bits with hooks in there. I might have to get some hooks out. Actually I do have something really nice. Little Ecogear Craw there, PXS. Definitely split the claws on this one if you're not using it for the backslide rig. If you are using it for the backslide rig, definitely don't split the claws. I've got a video on the backslide rig with this very lure. I'm gonna link it down below, or maybe even I might be able to link it somewhere here or here or here or here or here. Where I explain what the backslide rig is, what it's good for, and what type of lures next to this Ecogear Craw you can use for them, because obviously there's other lures out there that are good for it. But now what we're doing is I'm not gonna peg it, I'm gonna have it a free running Texas, nice and simple. Drag that over the bottom, give it a few, it's quite mild. I might switch it up a little bit, speed it up every now and then, but generally quite slow. Yeah, let's see what we get on this first spot here. No touch on the first spot, let's move on, guys. I had a few comments asking to please be a bit more precise on what exactly I'm using. I happily will oblige. I am now on a small river. Rivers are still up a little bit, but they're kind of got on their way back down into their beds. I am fishing a banky, major craft banky, 6'6". I need to look at this myself. You see, 5 to 10 gram, so nice and versatile. You can fish small lures on 2 gram chips, but you can also fish a 7 if you need to. So this is kind of my go-to if I'm not quite exactly sure, like today with spot hopping and I only want to take one rod. Really nice. The almighty Stratic, Shimano Stratic, this is the FL version with a, I want to say 13 pound or 14 pound J braids, like an 8 strand, nice and subtle on there. And then I'm going down to a, well, an Albright knots, a 612 Albright knots, because I was a bit lazy on the bank, didn't do an FG. that I do quite long. I fish quite long leaders because we're fishing in quite hefty cover here. So that's about 1 meter, and then I'm fishing a little bullet weight, tungsten bullet weight, SFL quality lure stuff. 3.5 grams is sufficient over here, even though it's pushing down through a little bit. The two rubber stoppers that I just told you about that I included in my Texas rig are Gurza rubber stoppers. They're all the same, probably all from the same factory. So yeah, and then I have not had any bites in the second spot on that Ecogear Craw either, so I've just swapped over, downsized a little bit and changed the color. The water is quite colored today. I do like purple, Junebug kind of color in murky water. This is not quite Junebug, it's a bit lighter. This is a FishUp real Craw in, I want to say 2 or 2.5 inch. And then the offset hook, there's a Gurza. It looks like that is a Shank EWG with the regular eye, not the large eye, which is really useful for cheb heads. And that's it. Yeah, it's all really nice and simple, guys. It's simplicity makes works wonders. First spot, no bite. Second spot, no bite. Third spot, not a touch. So what I did now, because that river felt a bit dead, I actually changed waters, drove another hour, and I'm back on the city stretch that I kind of fish once a year, and it's always hard fishing. For some reason I always go in the winter, even though it's supposed to be better in the summer. Last time I was here, you guys were with me as well, and I caught a really nice chub. What I've done so far, what you've maybe just seen, is I have fished that same craw, slightly lighter weight, across the bank, and a really nice slam. That was a perch, I'm almost certain. I'm gonna go back to that after, bit of a kind of a small micro spot. But for now, I'm back at that kind of white water weir where I caught the chub last year. And I'm gonna try to catch another chub or a perch there as well. I'm gonna start with this little Ecogear crank, just cover a bit of water. This is a CX-35. It's a slow floating one, I think, so I'm gonna give that a little go, hoping for chub. I'm still gonna have a little little titanium on there just in case. Couple of trebles on this one, and high vibration crankbait might get a croc in.
Oh, there it was. Oh, that was a small pike. Glad I put that on. That wire trace. There we go. Fish on. What's this? It's a pike. Again, I am glad I put the wire trace on. Much better fish than the one just before. Oh, he wants to jump. Oh, I don't want to net him with the trebles actually. just beach him. Hello, mate. You're a beautiful fish. Look at you. Absolute stunner. Absolute stunner, guys. I'm gonna get the trebles out of this fella and then show it to you.
All right. Okay. This is a lovely fish. Opa. 20, 30. Yeah. N70. Pike took the tiny. Oh, maybe an 80. Probably an N70, 80. Fish took the little crankbait. Opa. Oh, on and. See you later. It's right next to the water. I didn't want to pressure it back. That's what you call a release, guys. I did put it in the net to rest it, so it was nice and lively while I set up the camera. I did not net it but beach it, just because we had some exposed trebles there. I'm sure we all know it. There is nothing worse than a pike in a net with a treble outside its mouth. You will do so much damage to the fish. So if I can, I do not net pike. If there's any way to not net it with a treble, I will do so. Well, I hope you saw it a little bit. Lovely fish. Took the crankbait on the second cast. It wanted to go back really quickly, and that's absolutely fine. Well, enough with the crank action now. Covered this whole shebang a bit. Pulled that lovely croc out. Literally just sitting here on the river seam, very shallow on the sandbank. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pinpoint a little bit more underneath the trees I'm going to use the FishUp flit on a Kitech mono jig. I think it's a 2.8 gram or something like that. Whoever watched my last video from here knows that the chub like this lure, this exact lure in this spot, and yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pick something off the bottom there. Oh, well, that was already a bit better, guys. Nice chunky crocodilian with a super fast release, all on purpose, obviously. And yeah, a nice slam here along the bank, which I think might have been a perch. Of course, could have been anything. But you know how it is, if you target a certain species, you like to tell yourself that was a perch. Other than that, no chublets or chubbies or chubbaroonies out of that weir, white water. Unfortunately, the well, canal towpath or whatever it is, the way running along the river is blocked along a stretch for renovations, along a stretch that I wanted to fish, so I'm not gonna be able to fish that. I still got an hour or an hour 30 minutes, so I'm gonna try to find another little stretch of the river somewhere close-ish, because I would really like to see some sort of stripes today. Really don't have to be big, but I would love to just grab a little perch. Completely new stretch, guys. Brown AF, which isn't really an issue. I've already seen a couple of lads, asked them, they had lure rods, hard baits. I asked them, anything yet? Nah, nothing. What does that mean? Does that mean nothing, or does that mean lots of big fish and they just don't want to let me know? What do you guys say if you meet a random guy on the bank and he asks you, or she asks you, anything yet? Do you tell him? Zero visibility. This is really like silty as well.
Not sure the fish will like this. I'm generally not someone who hates on dirty water, but this is a different story. Look at the boat in the back there. You can't see even 1 inch. That's it, guys, ladies and gents. That's it for today. This last venue was, I mean, as I already said, definitely not anti-murky water, but this was on a different level. I mean, less than 1 inch visibility, very silty. I couldn't really imagine the fish would be very active if there is any in here. Well, I've just actually met 2 nice lads that fish this quite often. They're part of the club that runs this. They've given me the email address, which is really nice. I might consider joining it because it's not very expensive and it's quite close to home, and they said it's not always discolored, obviously, and there is some alright perch and pike in here, nothing humongous, but it is about 45 minutes from me, so it is probably worth it. Today, no. Anyway, nice half day, lovely croc, got some croc fingers, always a good sign. Not really the target, but then I didn't really have a target today. I was just out and about a bit, and yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next time.